Alexa, put thermostat in eco mode.
It's set to energy saver.
Hey everyone. Alright, I'm just gonna play some Rhythm and Bullets for a bit. I think this is a good view. Where's the camera? Ooh, I'm using Live, which we have integrated into our game. Actually, maybe I'll turn this way more. I think this would be a better view. Yeah, that's better. That's a better view, I think. Well, that's mainly my back. Maybe I do this. Alright. I hope you can hear me. Someone in chat, tell me. Alright, first let's just play through the campaign, actually. Furthest someone got today was wave 8. So I think we can beat that. And then the top is currently wave 110 by AAA, who I think is a developer. I think everyone but Shani Got a Gun is a developer. So, oh, and they got further this time, I think. So, alright. Let's do this. Oh, my blue shirt. Is that messing stuff up? Maybe I'll put a... Let me put a thing over it. Make me look more professional, too. Good. And this... Oh, let me get that. Or should I get dressed? Very professional, a professional streamer. There's probably a way to get chat and headset, but I'll just check chat in between gameplay sessions. So, we added this menu actually that changes based on your height and a threshold, so it doesn't change all the time. Based on Hectomir's feedback, that when you were standing, the menu was in the right place. Because one of my goals with designing this game was that everything should be adaptive. So like, I don't like it when I play a VR game and it's like calibrate your height. It takes you it ruins your UX flow. So, all right, let's just play through the campaign.
3, 2, 1. Defend the core.
I'm not sure everyone who's playing the game is playing the campaign first. We unlock Endless from the beginning. But there's a lot of people on the leaderboard who seem to get stuck at the boss, which makes me think they didn't beat the campaign. So I think we might add something in. Also, people should let me know if this is a good angle. Let me check. It looks like it's a good angle. You might not see a lot from the left. But it's kind of hard with this game because we could either do like a border view. I'm sure it's fun watching me watch myself. And I'm playing the Steam version, which is the most updated. I need to push an update for the Quest version on itch. It's not the most updated. I've played this level a lot. This entire campaign was basically done in like, I don't know, August. This is the first. This is what I basically worked on making the first level feel good, which they say you're not supposed to do in like game design. Is like spend all your time on the first level, but I did. It was originally a lot harder. All the levels were way harder. But then no one could beat them, except very few people. So I had to make them like way easier. And then endless is where all the challenge is, but we're thinking of adding difficulty levels. And then one of the fun things in the campaign is that, and we don't do this a ton, but the core moves around more because we wanted to add something a little more interesting. And see, as you can see, the core is higher here than it would be if I was seated and playing. The idea behind the core was that if you play a lot of other VR shmups, everything just attacks your hands, and then you get killed from stuff that is out of line of sight. That's also why everything spawns in your frustum. I should probably try and shoot on the beam more. Is because one of the design goals, and this took us a while, was make a game where it doesn't feel cheap when you die. And so we try to make it so that when you lose, you don't feel like it's like, oh, I just didn't even see that thing. We also, one of the goals was that shooting should be an action, not automatic. I think if you look at a lot of the other shmups in VR, every other one almost, shooting, you just point to shoot, and it's less strategic feeling. It also doesn't work well with the music, because then it's just like spam the whole time. So that's one thing I wish we had done a bit better, was the music integration. So are those, can you see those enemies? Not really. I guess you can. And I'm streaming this. I have a pretty easy setup. I literally just plug my iPhone in, and then we're good to go. Live is very easy to use, and they have an update that we should probably take that makes it work on like more than Steam VR. So maybe in the future, in a future patch, we'll upgrade that. I need to figure out how it handles versioning. The Tech Steady music also changed a lot. I mean, originally this was gonna be not Tech City. The original idea was that it was like Cyberscape, like Tron maybe. It was super simple. And then we built Japan Theme, because Japan Theme was the first really clear idea of a level. And then we went back in and read level 1. So everyone seems to have trouble in the boss when they first play. So we added in 2 tutorial things around this. So this one is like, you reflect the orb back, then you kind of learn to do that. And then some people figure out that you can use the shield. We nerfed that to make that harder, and then we show you the prompt that, oh, you have to shoot the boss. Because we used to have it that the shield would shoot as many as the max mode you were at, but we got some feedback that made the boss way too easy. I think the boss may be too easy, but one of the things is that since it's in the campaign, we want it to be easy. And also everyone, like if you look at the leaderboards, like almost 25% of people don't get past the boss. So I think even though it's easy. And then we added this theme unlocked so that you know what you unlocked, obviously. And then we made the UX a little better recently by saying you can continue. And we show the score, but the score doesn't matter here because we don't do level scores, because I don't think that's super interesting unless we had like a hard mode. Here, I'll look to see if anyone said anything in chat. Yeah, that's true. The music sounds good, better then. Yeah, I look kind of ridiculous. Oh, and like this hand is like really, the way that this calibration works is kind of weird. I'm bet this is better with if I had like a green screen or something, but I don't. All right, let's play Japanese.
1. Defend the core.
This one is probably the theme that had the most work go into it. I mean, it's the one we designed first, but we were like, oh, we really have to get this right. And so you have like the spectrogram ground. This one we were like very set on like, oh, everything has to be lines basically, except the leaves. So that's why in the other levels you see like we add a bit more, not just wireframes to it. One of the things that came really late was the idea that multiplayer and health are tied concepts. Originally they were totally disparate, and so you would have to, but I found it, I think in VR it's very hard to keep track of multiple variables at once. So having to keep track of both health and having to keep track of health and multiplayer separately, I think was like impossible. And that's what this indicates, is both multiplayer and health. Because like if you get hit, which I can let myself get hit, like here, then see that goes down. I'll try to play good. Sounds like the music's a bit off here. That might be a bug. I'll look into that. I don't know how that happened. Looks like there's like occasional jitter. One of the issues is that we had all the music syncing. Oh, maybe the music's fine now. We had all the music syncing on like Unity timeline, and then but Unity doesn't properly do music stuff. Another cool thing that I'm not sure people notice is that the music dynamically changes based on your max mode state. So we have levels of music. So right now it's only playing the bass. But like as I get back to multiplayer level 2, so right now I'm at 1. You'll see everything, but also like the whole environment changes. Like the sun rays went away, the world isn't moving. It's mainly the bass track, because we basically had this whole idea. So like, see now the Sakura leaves are coming back. You can see this has the other music track in it. The sun rays are back. Oh, I screwed up. The whole conceit here is that you don't ever want to hit the fake bosses, and you just want to hit the real one. And then when the boss is moving faster like this, you know it's near death.
Theme unlocked.
Okay, so now we've unlocked the Galaxy Zone. Galaxy Zone is like my favorite. And also, we put the most work into like the background on this one. I love the spawning here because I think the spawning goes with the music really well. Oh. This one's definitely the hardest level, but I recently made it way easier because we got some feedback that was like, people just couldn't beat any of these levels. So we might add a hard mode in the future for the campaign if people are interested in that. The thing about the mini bosses, they actually shoot to the music. So they're shooting based on the like onset, which is like important notes. It's usually the base layer that I make it based off of. I'm thinking about changing that up a bit. Oops. We had an earlier version of this theme that I think sounded too doomy, but... And then that background thing changes every time you get a multiplier change. This was kind of an accident, but I love the black hole, how it like phases in and out when you get to max mode 3. And this is where I had the most fun, I think, with the encounter design too, is this level. Like, this whole sequence is about, like, you have to balance between these 3 enemy spawn areas that are all spawning really quickly. I'm like very biased, but I listen to this soundtrack like regularly now, which is like very funny because I've heard these songs a million times, but I think the composer did such a good job, especially with Space. I love Space. And we're working on the next theme music now, and I'm excited to hear what he comes up with. I think mini bosses are the hardest enemies.
Missiles.
I think maybe we have to make bombs more visible. I think we might also have to put a tutorial tip in that like you can shoot bombs. I wonder how many people don't realize you can shoot the bombs. Oop. This one's fun because we don't have a lot of encounters where you're fighting a lot of the beat movers at once. This one originally had like way more shield enemies spawn at once. I think we shipped the build with that, but then I recently made it like 9 total, which is a lot more manageable. The balance here is you want people to be like, oh, I played this campaign and it was fun. This is the last wave where it's just a ton of splitters of different colors, which is hard because you have to switch colors a lot. Okay, and now it's the boss. This is my favorite effect we have in the game, is the eclipse. I love this like part of it because I think the emissives just look so good. Oops. I need to play good. The difference the boss has in the third phase is that he has new attacks. Or they have new attacks. Like the arc. I think the arc is fun. We also play the songs only complete really if you're on max mode 3 and fighting the boss, because the boss adds in the final layer. And this is the other one. This is the zigzag pattern. I think looks cool.
Congratulations.
Then we have this nice note. So we beat the campaign. Woo! All right, I'll check. Chat. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer any questions. That's weird. You get too close to that. All right, I'm gonna do an endless run now. Is the camera at a good angle and everything? Let me know. All right, let's try and get the high score. I'm gonna start on Japanese Garden.
3, 2, 1. Defend the core. Slow down. Multiplier up.
Most of the game's size is like we just have so many audio assets. Like we tried to do a thing, I think somewhat successfully, where every enemy has a different sound effect for spawning per level, and then the destroys are all the same, but they're all of different sounds that are across the octave in the key that the song is written in. Something I did with endless mode is now everything. I love that. Is that everything scales now? So the bosses get much harder the longer you play, which hopefully we'll see. I try to make some of these encounters harder that are early.
Rapid fire.
Those of you who played the game while we were basically in beta will know that we had a third power-up at one point, but we cut it. Mainly because it didn't feel great compared to some of the other ones. The shields got a lot harder when you only allow one at a time. And the idea behind the way the endless works is basically, I thought of it like each encounter is a pattern. And so over time you'll learn the patterns, and then you'll get better at fighting the patterns, rather than just fully random. That was like a little bit WarioWare inspired and a little bit Geometry Wars inspired. WarioWare and like WarioWare in the sense of like, we'll just have really small things that players will recognize, and then we change variables, right? So things get harder, which was also the other WarioWare part. Was like, oh, difficulty up, speed up, and then that way the same encounters become kind of more interesting once you add these other things on top of them. And then the spawn rate makes it so that you get interesting collections of these like enemy spawn motifs together, which doesn't totally happen until after the second boss. It's kind of like slow up until then. I thought about making this part of your like endless run more difficult, but we're at 40. But I think I don't know. My feeling is that I'm probably too used to this game to make. I mean, I definitely am, to make good decisions about that. And other people told me that it was already hard enough.
Rapid fire.
And then we do non-uniform distributions for when you fight the boss, mainly because we wanted players to. Yeah. See, now it's getting a little more hectic. Mainly because we wanted players to really quickly see like the theme change mechanic, and I think as we add more themes, that theme change mechanic will get even better. I think this looks like really cool. And then see if we hit the wrong one. I'm gonna lose. I need focus. Originally, the way these were implemented is that they'd all attack you at once, and then I wanted to play with patterns that were coming from all sides, but that ended up being way too overwhelming and hard to keep track of. So they really just swap positions. And I think once you figure out the like gimmick that like, oh, you can't hit the fakes, and like, oh, well, how did the fakes look different? And then also that you figure out that you can use the fakes against the boss, attacks against the boss, then it becomes way more interesting. And see, those attacks are way faster than they were the last time because the velocity scale also affects them. And then one thing I did that was cool is that if your headset goes out of bounds, the world becomes black like this. But we don't actually put a mask in front of the player. We actually just do a shader trick to do that. And then see, you can see what they look like without the emissive then, which is cool.
Rapid fire.
The bullet sounds also change per level. I don't know if people noticed that. Like almost all the sound effects change per theme because we wanted it to feel like each theme was used like audibly unique, as well as like I think this is when the game starts to get hard. As well as visually unique on each theme, which is why I want to add a relax mode, and people even give us that feedback that they just want to like hang out in these themes. So I think we'll add that. As that's planned to be added as part of the next big update, which is the underwater theme update. Yeah, see, now things are getting a bit hectic. And the interesting thing about the way we decided to design this arcade mode is we kind of made it more like a roguelike, not roguelike, but like you do a run. It's very run. We try to make it kind of run based more than like arcadey, which is why the bosses are in there and stuff. And that also gives you a sense of progression, especially with the themes. I need to kill these dudes before. I should show off some of the bomb tricks. I haven't showed off bomb tricks yet. And then when you think about a game like Geometry Wars, our missiles are kind of similar, but you don't just get 3 of them. One, because that would be not, I don't know, we could have represented that here, I guess, but I like power-ups. Alright, this run's going well, mainly because we have a lot of good power-ups. So you can use the bombs from the bomb shooters to your advantage. But then if you have too many of these bomb shooters, then you're gonna get screwed. So, crap. Yeah, that, whew. This is a lot harder than when we did our original side quest build. So you see how fast these shoot out now? Love it. I think this game, we have an achievement for getting to wave 300 that I think is going to be really hard to get. Maybe Hectomere will get that first. But I have not gotten past like wave 100. I don't know if I've actually gotten much further than this. Yeah, see how good that is? The key just gotta take it out quick. Alright, back to Japanese theme. Yeah, I think it would be nice if we can have people make playlists too. The real balance that I feel like our endless mode gets, and it's kind of in the campaign as well, is like, oh, when do you take out enemies? Crap, that are far away versus close by. Crap. Shit. Alright. I feel like that's a crux of a lot of the like design strategy. And then like I feel like splitter children become, which are the small ones, just the like hardest thing. we get much harder. Crap. If I timed these right. Oh, no. I think I've lost. I think I'm totally screwed. Yeah. Alright, I'm second. That's not first. I'm first today. I think I got the achievement. Let's see if we have anything from chat. And then chat. Alright, maybe we do one more run. Let me check some stuff here. Alright. Then I should go eat lunch probably.
3, 2, 1. Defend the core. Missiles.
Yeah, you kind of... I mean, I guess that's how it is with Ultramos, but you kind of lose focus and then it's over.
Missiles.
But getting to 200 is really hard. I mean, I wonder...
Fire up.
The game basically scales until wave 300. That's why I made that the achievement. And then that's when it stopped scaling. Originally it was wave 100. But then we also made the path to 100 a lot harder. Because people did way better in our side quest beta than we thought they would. Like, insanely better. And then I don't think it was fun. It's not fun when your difficulty scales to its max too quickly and then people can easily beat it. So hopefully we've made it just really hard. I mean, I hope people can get good enough to play at the max difficulty. That would always be the goal, right? But I mean, so far no one's even gotten close. So, which might mean we have to scale things a bit. I don't know. I also don't want average play session length to be too long, because if someone beats you in the leaderboard, you want to be able to quickly hop in and be like, oh no, I got this. Another big inspiration for this game was Space Invaders Extreme, which is very similar in the sense of like it's a shooter that has a lot of musical elements. I'd say their music isn't super strong as much as like the sense of like synesthesia kind of sense it gives you. I like it because I like Riz a lot, but in terms of like what we were going for, it's a lot more of a game than Rez is, right? In terms of a arcadey shooter that you can go back to. Rez is like, oh shit. That's what happens when I don't focus. I love this is real like space chatter that Jesse, our music guy, pulled.
Rapid fire.
The other thing about this game is that we have only like 5 enemy types really, which was very deliberate, because I've played a lot of other VR shmups and they'll just have so many enemy types and you're just like, I can't, and then they don't feel unique, they all feel the same. And we wanted you to be like, oh, I see this enemy, I can make a reasonable strategic decision about how to handle it. I think it turns out that a lot of the things, and I think this is why the genre evolved that way, that you think about in terms of like shmup game design, transfers directly over into like third-person shooter and first-person shooter design. Because you see the same thing with those, where you can have enemies and then they're like totally unidentifiable what their unique characteristics are if you have too many, or you can be super strategic. Like Destiny does a really good job of not introducing too many archetypes. I mean, they have a lot now, but which makes it so that you can reason when you're playing Destiny about the archetypes. The bullet time took us a while to get right. That took us a while to get right. We have some other unused effects that we want to add into these levels, but we didn't have time. Like there's constellations that we have for the background of this one. There's some like ships in Tech City.
Rapid fire. Warning. Warning.
That was a bug. Should fix that. Another way that you can tell the clone bosses is that their Y heights will sometimes be offset differently. I thought about making it all the same, but I was like, nah, that's kind of fun. That's kind of a fun identifier. The boss sounds were we took a while to try to figure out, okay, how do we make the game musical? How do we make a musical shmup? That took a long time, and the boss sounds was the first thing in my like prototypes that really clicked, with that spiral and like each note being like a bullet. I was like, oh, because for a while we were trying to have enemies spawn to the music, and that doesn't work at all because you have way too many enemies. One of the biggest issues with a VR shmup is that if you compare the number of enemies in this game to a game like, and this is true of any VR shooter, to a flat screen game, the numbers are just like, if you have like 10 things that you have to fight at once in our game, you're overwhelmed. If you have 10 things in like a normal flat screen shmup, that's like very easy. And it's because it's just the VR nature of it. And like also 2D games, super easy to in 2D games, it's really easy to do angle correction. If I'm shooting like this and I'm not hitting, angle correction's easy. In VR, it's a lot harder, which is why I think the beat mechanic's important, because then you can auto aim if you're having trouble hitting something, if you can hit on the beat, which turning on the metronome allows you to. And we don't make that a score detractor because I don't know. I feel like that makes things so complicated. Like in Pistol Whip, I'm never sure why someone got a higher score than me, and that's kind of annoying. Like, is it because of the score multiplier? Same with Beat Saber. Like a cheap way, there's like very easy cheap ways to get higher scores than your friends in Beat Saber, which I'm not sure is great. I mean, Beat Saber's great, but I don't know if their leaderboard stuff is great. That's also why one of my design goals was single leaderboard. Make it so that there's one thing for people to chase, not like 20. Like, it would be nice in Beat Saber, almost kind of contradicting what I just said, if difficulty modes were given multipliers so that you had one leaderboard. Because like when it's like your friend beat you on easy, it's like, well, I don't play on easy, but now I feel like a schmuck because I got beaten. We also have 2 ships. Most of these games don't have 2 ships. The reason is, like, I think it feels terrible when you're playing a game and you have one, you don't have anything to do. We do have to add in a one-handed mode. I want to do that for accessibility purposes. We have to scale the game probably. I don't know. Maybe we just wouldn't skill the game. It seems, I don't know, make it harder a little bit, give you a bit of a multiplier. That's the one thing where I'm like, oh, we should have that, and that should probably be different. But like, oh, you can shoot on the beat, like, yeah, it gives you a benefit, but then if we just let anyone do it, then it's like your choice if you want to have that benefit or not. Then it doesn't detract from your score. Also, like, some people just have trouble finding the beat. Like, I kind of do. I've gotten better at it in making this game, but oh shit, I need to pay attention. We're in the hard part now. Wave 86. All right, we gotta be 111, and then we can eat lunch. Should probably go on a bike ride, but I don't know. And then I'm gonna work on some capital ship naval combat this afternoon. I began on figuring out the art aesthetic and writing some of that yesterday. And I think it looks pretty good so far. Ooh boy, not good. Uh-oh. That was close. Nope. Nope. No, no, no. Nope. If I just move a lot. Come on.
High score.
No. No, I'm one away. Oh, but my score is higher. Oh, I was one away. Woo! I did it. Feels good to be the best at my own game. It's very trite. I don't know why friends isn't working correct. I might have to look into that. I mean, I'm 3 places in the top 5 because I did this on this one. I think this one's on Pico, and this one's on Viveport maybe. Because we have unified leaderboards and everything but Oculus. So, all right, I guess that's it. I'll stream this more, especially if anyone beats my score. Because that's fun, I guess. But yeah, if you watch this stream and you know in the game, we'd really appreciate it. It will help us make more games like this. And then, yeah. Yeah. Anyways, cool. Let me get out of headset. Let me see if we have any questions. I'll answer any. All right, well, thank you, everybody. And have a good weekend. We're going to be streaming again on this channel on Sunday for Extra Life. So join us then.